Hulk 03 is my favorite Hulk because it is Bruce's childhood personified. All the helplessness, all the bullying, all the rage from his father comes out when he becomes the Hulk. Feel what I'm saying? All the stuff that he couldn't do when he was a kid to protect himself or his mother, he could do now as this monster, as this big green behemoth, right? And not only did it come out in his rage and the action, but when he's staring off at the sunset or he's staring off at the environment, people might be wondering why they put that in there. But that's really his childhood. That's really his child self, just relaxing or whatever the case may be, thinking about things in his life, right? And I used to wonder why they put that in there, but that was a good reason they put that in there. It's a good thing they put that in there. A man's rage is weaponized. It can be weaponized for good, but in this society, it's seen as bad. Feel what I'm saying? The Hulk 03 was actually a beautiful movie, from the staring off at the environment scenes to when he's jumping and the wind is blowing in his face and things like that. Ang Lee included all that in that movie, and it was kind of slow, right? They could have took some parts out and they could have, stopped some of the editing that made it look crazy. It would have been a way better, more memorable movie if they would have cut that part out, right? Or made it a faster paced movie. But it was beautiful, the things they included in there, you know what I'm saying? Very beautiful, right? Helplessness, bullying, and somebody whose father was a disciplinarian. Not only did I get a lot of ass whoopings all the way till I was like 17, but my dad was also very controlling, very restrictive. You couldn't really move around the house with freedom and things like that, and that caused problems with my adult life. I don't really like going to people's houses, whatever the case may be, because I'm always thinking, what can I do and what can't I do? Hulk was his oppressed childhood, and it was his repressed self. Feel what I'm saying? And if anybody knows what being oppressed is like, not only myself, but the black man. When you hear all this feminism shit, and they're saying, all men this, all men that, and it's mainly white women that push this. What do you mean fucking all men? You know what I'm saying? I know you ain't talking about black men who been slaves half of American history. I know you ain't talking about fucking immigrants that come over here, Mexican people and all that type of people that haven't even been here, that didn't have nothing to do with you. What it is the white man, they want the same power as the white man had, and they're upset that they never got it. White women didn't give a fuck about us hanging in the damn trees. Matter of fact, some of them orchestrated it. Some of them lied and put us up there. Some of them like to see that shit, right? So when they say feminism and patriarchy, what the fuck are you talking about? And any black woman that agrees with it, what the fuck are you talking about? Sometimes I feel like Saul, like God left me. When I was a kid, I used to ask for things and like money or help with my grades, and God would help me, or it seemed like he would help me, right? I remember I asked for Jesus to be in my head when I was a kid to help me on this math test. And I had this imagination of God talking to me or whatever the case may be, which he would really look like me, and he would help me, right? Turns out that was just my conscience, But because of that, I learned of a conscience when I was a very young boy, right? That was my mind's way of trying to conceptualize, being told right from wrong and listening to yourself. And sometimes I feel like he forsaken me or left me because sometimes I don't get a lot of things that I want in life, right? So I feel like God left me. But then again, it may be because I left him. You know what I mean? But I believe he walks with me. I believe that he walks with all of us. Anybody that, is seeking his help or seeking his guidance. I'm going to be going on Twitch, and I'm going to start going over there. A lot of people don't want to get big, or they want to get respect to like artists like Michael Jackson. I hear people say, I don't want to get big as Michael Jackson, or nobody will be bigger than Michael Jackson. No man, including Michael Jackson himself, wants to be under another man. The goal of your legacy or being a man is trying to beat somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Alexander the Great, Napoleon, or whatever the case may be. If you could beat somebody else's fame and you're allowed to do it, do it. You know what I'm saying? Or try to do it. People be trying to say, oh, no, you ain't going to beat Michael Jackson or something like that. No, you won't beat Michael Jackson. Don't try to tell people what they can do and how far they can move up in the world, because you put limitations on them. How you going to put limitations on somebody else? Even Michael Jackson wouldn't want that. He didn't want that.